All right, let me bring you up to speed. So where we left off more or less in the last video, I cut the front end of this frame off, the A-frame and the tongue, and just made kind of a rough cut. Still trying to figure out how I'm going to tie a new A-frame into this. It's going to be removable, but as you can see, I have painted some of the frame. I figured I'd paint. I had some nice days last weekend, so I took the frame out and wire wheeled it to death. Still little bits of rust here and there, but anyway, painted where I didn't need to, where I'm not going to need to do anything. And then yesterday I got in my timbering parts here. They're just sitting there on the frame. Those are actually going to go right about in here somewhere, which is right where the old axle sat. And you see how that frame, this frame is, again, it's upside down. You see where this is bent up, this curved part. I'm going to heat that up and bend it back flat so I can get this thing positioned where I want it. I do that on both sides. Here's my drop axle. It came off of a different trailer. It's pretty grody, but it'll clean up. And what I found is that the pattern is a 6-bolt, and you measure across from one lug to the opposite lug, so it's a 6 by 5.5 bolt pattern. And this is a 16-inch rim, and I am going to probably, I've been looking, as I'm under the impression that the smallest wheel tire setup would be a 14-inch, so I'm probably going to go back with a 14 inches. I want to get the profile as low as I can and get this trailer to where I don't have to lift it very far when it goes into table mode, but it'll still have plenty of ground clearance. And the truth of the matter is, it's just going to be trailering around here, and it's not like I'm going out on the open road or anything. So anyway, but we're real excited. We've got this the pieces. Now I got to put it together and see where it's going to want to go from there. So stay tuned. Okay, when last we left off, I got these timbering parts in, and I showed you the axle. And now I've got the timbering mounted to the frame, the drop axle. You'll note I've stripped off everything down to the spindle. And you see the wires hanging there for the brakes. That is actually go to the other side. So what I have found out is by looking at the bearings in the hub, this right here is a number 84 spindle. And with that knowledge, I can go back with actually a different hub. So I ended up ordering a 5-lug, 5 by 4.5, I think, or is it 5 by 4? Anyway, it's a 5-lug hub, an electric brake setup, and that will allow me to get a lot more choices on wheels. And so now it looks like I'm going to go down to like a 13-inch wheel. Anyway, that's where I'm at right this minute. I'm waiting on those parts to get in, but I've got this mounted up. It just bolts right up. Had to do some drilling. I did straighten out the curves in the frame. You'll see it's kind of gnarly there, but I took a torch and heated it and played with it, and took a while, but I finally got it it's a fairly nice curve, even though it looks a little jagged there. So we're moving right along. The end of this next week, I'm hoping to have the brakes and the tires on it and have this more permanently done, and then get it down towards the ground off these stands, and start figuring out how the table mode, what that's going to look like. So stay tuned.